Welcome back, everybody, to the 11th episode, the Partridge Dry Fly. Partridge Dry Fly is very, very difficult because not many feathers on the partridge are buoyant. There is one, however, and it's this feather right here, which comes from the lead edge of the wing. So this is going to be kind of a play off Nancy's prayer, so to speak. We're going to start out the tail. We're going to use a couple of these leading wing fibers. So I'm going to tie in a little tail. And this is kind of a, I don't know, it's not a mayfly. Even though it's got tails, it's not a mayfly. The tails are supposed to imitate kind of a shuck, so to speak. So from there, you're going to go back to the wing, and instead of grabbing the lead edge, you're going to grab the trailing edge. It's the darker colored fibers. These are also kind of buoyant. Not extremely buoyant, but kind of. And you're going to tie in and move forward. These feathers are also small, especially the fibers, so you won't be able to tie an incredibly long body. It will have to be somewhat short. So I'm going to take that fiber and I'm going to begin wrapping very gently in open wraps. I'm using an olive thread base, the very caddisy color. I'm doing open thread wraps because you will not be able to complete, even this is a size 16, you won't be able to complete the entire body with one of these fibers, even on a size 16. So I'm going to go right to there. Now caddis are very simple, and so this pattern is also very simple. Now Nancy's prayer kind of has some fuzzy stuff going on here. Before I get into the wing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the white fibers by the rump. They're these very delicate fibers. They don't hold much water. They shed really easily too, so if you just kind of give them a blow, then they will, water will just kind of come right out of them. And they make a good rope. So I'm going to make a little thorax. There we go. Caddis are pretty clean too, so I don't want this to be too buggy. And then I'm going to go to a wing feather. Now you might be saying, why a wing feather? Well, the fibers are not as wide and they're a little stiffer. So they're going to shed water just a little bit better. They're probably not going to absorb as much water. There we go. So what I'm going to do is trim it off just like this. This is basically going to be my wing. I'm going to try and show you, but I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to pinch these fibers together to try to make somewhat of a tent. Kind of palmering them down and forward. Basically, it's going to make a slimmer profile for my Nancy's prayer. It's going to look something like that. So a little thinner. Then what I'm going to do, tied in on top. Pull it forward. You really want it to sit right on top. And you want this wing to go to the edge of your tails, which you see how that is at the edge. Okay, that looks pretty good there. I'm going to work backwards. Don't crowd the eye, like I kind of just did. Yeah. Anyway, so there's my wing. Very, very slim caddis. And then for just some extra bonus points, I'm going to come on the bottom side. And I'm going to stick with that wing feather. Oops. That same wing feather that's on top. What I'm going to do is grab a few fibers. I'm going to grab a few fibers, just like so. And I'm going to tie them in on the bottom. Try to do a loose wrap there. Tie them in on the bottom, just to give the appearance of legs. See there? Just a couple legs. And I'm going to tidy up. Alright, so there you have it. A really, really simple dry. What makes this a dry and not a wet, because this looks like a wet wing, is that, you know, what is the difference between a wet and a dry? This is supposed to be fished on top. This is very lightweight. Everything about it is made to be buoyant, right? The body is light, the wing is light, the tails are buoyant, and so that makes it a dry fly. It's meant to be fished on top. So here's our partridge dry. As you can tell, I mean, it's got Nancy's Prayer vibes written all over it, but it is a super simple pattern and very, very effective, very buggy looking. So I hope you guys like this video. The next one is our last and final video, a really cool wet fly, or actually soft tackle. So thank you for watching this episode. Please subscribe to our YouTube page and check us out on Instagram. Hope to see you guys next time for the final episode of the 4 Birds of Maine.